Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking series. We're just going to move on right away to Chapter 3. We got through Chapter 2 in the last video, and in this chapter we're going to be introduced to a couple new characters with some interesting win cons, so let's go ahead and get to it.
Chapter 3. Frodo sat down beside Sam and began to eat. "What is the plan for today?" asked Pippin. "To walk to Buckleberry as quickly as possible," answered Frodo, and gave his attention to the food. Chapter 3. The Ring Sets Out. Characters: Frodo, Farmer Maggot, Gildor, Sam, Merry, Pippin. Threat: Black Riders 1 through 4. Victory: short. Finish all chosen characters. All right, we are all set to start Chapter 3. Got our board ready to go. So in this chapter, we're not necessarily introducing any new mechanics, but we have a couple of new characters to introduce that have some interesting win cons. So first, let's go ahead and look at Gildor. So his win con, this is Gildor Inglorian, High Elf. His win con is to play a forest card in the final trick. He doesn't have to win that trick, but he has to play a forest card in the last one. And his setup is to exchange with Frodo. Then we have Farmer Maggot, the Brave. His win con is to win 2 or more cards matching the rank of the threat card drawn during setup. And his setup is to draw a threat card, exchange with Pippin or Merry. So when we do his setup, we'll draw a threat card, which will be the Black Rider 1 through 4. So if, for example, it were a 3, then Farmer Maggot has to win 2 3s throughout the round. It could be a 3 of Mountain, a 3 of Hills, a 3 of Shadow. Doesn't matter the suit, he just has to make sure he's winning that rank. All right, so those are our new characters. Otherwise, we'll have Merry, Pippin, and Sam to choose from as our optional spot. So let's go ahead and deal out the cards. Almost forgot to do the lost card here. So our lost card will be the 1 of Hills. And now we'll go ahead and deal out the character hands. All right. So far, we've been progressing pretty well through our chapters. We haven't run into a lot of issues, but I would say it's probably Chapter 3. Cannot get the cards straight. Probably Chapter 3, but maybe Chapter 4, where things start to get a little interesting and you might start losing more often than winning, but eventually you kind of get the hands that you need to get, or you kind of learn how to better play the strategies for the different win cons of the characters. So let's go ahead and see how this goes. So immediately when we look at this starting deal, Frodo has a ring, and we don't want him to have the rings. He needs to win the rings, but this is an interesting one because it is the 5 of rings. So it would allow him, if someone else led with a ring, it would allow him to win that trick since he plays the highest rank ring possible. So normally I'd want to trade rings away from Frodo. We might actually keep that one. Then what I want to look at is, remember Gildor, he has to win, he has to end the round with a forest card. So you want to give him the most forest cards, and he does get to exchange with Frodo. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm looking at this option right here. I'm going to put Gildor here. We'll talk about why in a moment. Then I'll go ahead and put Farmer Maggot here. And now when I look at my final, thing here, I don't want to use Sam because his win con is based on the threat card. So I don't want to have 2 characters that both rely on that threat. So we're not going to use Sam, and instead we're going to use Pippin or Merry. I kind of like going with Merry because Pippin, just a little risky when you have to win the fewest amount of tricks, whereas winning 1 or 2 with Merry is not impossible. So we're going to go ahead and go with this starting hand. Let's remove our character tokens. Everything's good to go. So let's go ahead and do setup. Frodo is already good to go. Gildor, we can exchange with Frodo, so we'll hold off on exchanging for a moment. Farmer Maggot, draw the threat card. So we have our threat deck here. I've already given it a little shuffle, but I'll give it another one. Draw the top card. And we have the 3. So it's good that this is not a 3 because that would make it a little harder for us. But we have the 3 of Shadow. So Farmer Maggot has to win 2 3s. And when I look at the board right now, there's currently no 3s. So he's pretty good. We don't really need to worry about him. And then Merry, exchange with Frodo, Sam, or Pippin. So I'm actually going to do Gildor's exchange. I'm going to give Frodo the... I'll give Frodo... Let's see, how do I want to do this? Sometimes I like to get rings as soon as possible in play, but in this case, I don't think that would really help me. I think we can get Merry... No, that would win for Farmer Maggot. Let's go ahead and just give Frodo a high card to help him out. We'll take his highest forest, and that way we get Gildor another forest. So you want to try to keep the forest cards with Gildor as long as you can so that you have one on the final trick. So let's see how we did. Let's go ahead and start. Frodo is going to lead the first trick. And if I look at our board here, there's nothing I can do that's like super advantageous. So I think we're just going to, yeah, there's no 3s on board for Farmer Maggot to win. Let's just get Farmer Maggot a victory and get rid of this. No, I don't want to waste forest. Frodo's going to lead with the 7 of Mountains. Gildor will go with a 2. Farmer Maggot will go with a 6. And Merry, what do I maybe want to get rid of here? Merry will ditch his 6 of Hills since he can't play a mountain. So nothing really happens on that trick. Frodo will win it, but there's no rings, so it doesn't make a huge difference to him. And now we're in kind of a tough spot because Frodo actually has 3 rings and he needs to win 4 of them. So that makes things a little difficult. I'd like the other characters to have rings and they don't. So this time, since I still can't lead with rings, I only have one option, and that's to lead with the 1 of Forests. Gildor will play the 4. Farmer Maggot will play the 6. Is there a 3 on? Did I deal any 3s that time? I mean, I only have 1 move anyway, but it doesn't look like it. So Merry will play the 8. So Merry will actually win that trick. And that time we actually accomplished something. Merry now satisfies his win con. He's won 1 trick. So we'll just have to try to... Remember, you have to limit him from winning more than 2. So we'll deal out our new hand here. And when I look at this, I still do not see any 3s, which is crazy. So Farmer Maggot's win con is still not really playable here. I really want to get rings into play. So what I'm going to do is, let's see how I want to do this. How can we make this so that it's good for us? Okay, Merry's gonna play the 6 of Shadow. Frodo doesn't have a shadow, so I'm doing this just so I can get rings into play. Frodo doesn't have a shadow, so Frodo's gonna play the 1 ring, and as soon as he does that, we'll flip our ring token here. Gildor, oh yeah, okay, this kind of works. So Gildor will play, doesn't really matter, he'll play his 4 of Shadow, and then Farmer Maggot will play his 7. So Frodo, since he played the 1 ring, I'm gonna have him win that trick. So Frodo's now won 1 ring, and rings are now playable, which helps us out. So, oh, and good. Gildor just got 1, Farmer Maggot got 1, and there's a 3 for Farmer Maggot. So we're in a little bit of a better state here, and actually, we can, with that deal, satisfy Frodo's win con right now. So since rings are now playable, Frodo will lead with the 5 of rings. That's exactly why I kept it. Gildor will play the 4. Farmer Maggot will play the 3, and then Pippin can choose what to play. The only thing we don't want to give up is this 3, because we're going to want that to go to Farmer Maggot. So Mary will just play his 5 of forests. All right, and so with that, since we kept that ring with Frodo and made rings playable, Frodo just won 3 rings in 1 trick. So he now has 4 rings, which will satisfy his win con. So now all we have to do, I'll admit I was a little worried about that starting hand, but I think things are looking good. So now all we need to do is make sure Gildor hangs on to this forest card. I kind of would feel better if he had more than 1. And then, yeah, that's troubling. And then Farmer Maggot needs to win a couple 3s. So Frodo won that trick. Let's look at what we have here. Is there anything? I don't know if there's anything we can actually do. So there's the 3 of hills on board, and there's the 3 of forest. But Farmer Maggot is not going to be able to win any of those. So let's see. This is kind of a tough spot. So, oh, no, I think we can do something. So Frodo leads. So Frodo's going to lead with a mountain. So 5 of mountain. Gildor will play a 3 of hill since he doesn't have a mountain. Farmer Maggot can win this one by playing his 8 of mountain. And then Merry does not have a mountain. So he'll play the 3 of forests. Farmer Maggot wins the trick. There were 2 3s that we were able to get rid of. Oh, all right. So that actually worked out really well. So Farmer Maggot wins that trick. He won 2 3s, so there's Farmer Maggot's win con. Now all we have to do is make Gildor play a forest in the final hand, and we're going to deal out our final set of cards right now. And it looks like we'll be all right because there are only 2 forests on the board, here and here. So as long as we don't force anything stupid, we should be able to make this work. So Farmer Maggot just won that. Let's go ahead, and the more we can control with Gildor, I think the better. So let's go ahead and lead with the 5 of shadow. Frodo will play the 2. Gildor will play the 8. And then, oh, whoops, I forgot Merry, but doesn't really matter. Merry will play the 1. So Gildor will win this trick. Now we can lead with Gildor, and that gives us just a little bit more control on what's being played. So now, if I look at this, I think we're going to be all right. So kind of what I'm seeing here is Gildor could lead with the shadow. No one else has a shadow. So we could just throw stuff away and make Gildor automatically win. Then he could play his hills. Frodo would win the hills. And then Frodo would lead the last hand. Yeah, so I think we're good. So Gildor's going to lead with the 3 of shadow. Farmer Maggot has nothing to play, so he'll play a 4. Merry has nothing to play, so let's just get rid of making sure here. Yeah, we'll play that. And then Frodo, we want to keep that high hill card. So Frodo will just play his 2 of rings since he doesn't have a shadow. So Gildor will once again win that trick since no one played a shadow. And now Gildor will lead with the 7 of hills. Farmer Maggot will play his 2. Merry will play his 5. Frodo will play his 8. So Frodo will win that trick and lead the final trick. And so now Frodo plays 2 of forests. Gildor plays 7 of forests. Farmer Maggot plays 1 of mountain, and Merry plays 4 of hills. So if we look at this, this is the final trick. Gildor, play a forest card in the final trick. He did. So his win con satisfied. He will actually win that last trick, which he doesn't have to, but it just worked out that way. And there we go. So every character's win con. Frodo won 4 rings. Gildor played a forest in the final trick. Farmer Maggot, he won 2 3s, which matches the threat on board. And Merry only won 1 trick. So there we go. Chapter 3 is done. We're good to move on to Chapter 4.
All right, guys, there you go. We were able to beat Chapter 3 we can move on to chapter 4 in the next video. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of the game, the video, everything in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.